Hey guys, I wanted to come on here and talk about the situation with Wrestlemania. You see, Wrestlemania this week is going to be apparently taped on Wednesday and Thursday, maybe bits on Tuesday. Well, Raw is going to be live on Monday and then taped on Tuesday, and the same will be said for Smackdown and NXT at the end of the week. In fact, I think Smackdown already got taped as well as 205. So the go-home show for WrestleMania, as far as SmackDown is concerned, is already taped into the can, as well as 205, that is. And then you got Raw going live, and then Raw being taped the next day, and then basically WrestleMania, parts of it being taped the same day, and then fully taped Wednesday and Thursday, and then SmackDown being live or being taped on Friday. So, well, obviously being taped, I should say. So, the question everybody has is this the right move for WWE to make? Is it the right move for WWE to make to, go in this direction? I know a lot of people have said, from JD from NY206 to JUSTALYX, formerly Deluxe Man, to a lot of people, that Vince should just hold it off until at least another few months. Wait till like the first or second week of June, place Mania at Madison Square Garden, go from there. But here's the thing. Vince, even if that was possible, but here's the thing, and I think this is where some people kind of look at, probably the best, make the best out of a bad situation kind of deal when it comes to this, that, let's say, and the Lord above is going to make this happen, no doubt. By His grace, it's going to happen. Things start to die down. The warmer weather helps start taking effect and really decreasing the spread of this virus or this situation, whatever you want to call it. Who's to say that the New York Knicks, who also play in Madison Square Garden, won't have a game scheduled on one of those days? Maybe the NBA resumes play, and it's all of a sudden, hey, the Knicks' first game back in the reinstation of the NBA season is a home game. Who's to say that's going to not happen? So right now what they're doing is they're like, look, we're making the best of a situation. And yeah, you can blame Vince McMahon for basically not listening to people and not holding off on this, and that's true. Ooh, and I don't blame you guys for feeling that way. But I think it's, honestly, I don't think it's just Vince. I honestly don't think it's Kevin Dunn. It's probably a majority of them. I don't think it's just Paul Heyman. I don't think it's just Bruce Pritchard, even though it's a majority of the decision as well. But I think in a sense, it's also Triple H and Stephanie, and maybe even Shane. Maybe they're like, look, if you're determined to do this, here's how we're going to do it. And I'm guaranteeing, I almost have a feeling, Triple H probably came up with the suggestion of taping Raw, taping SmackDown, going live with Raw, if Vince wants to, instead of going live or taping this upcoming Monday's Raw, to maybe taping Mania over the course of a couple of days, and then taping the post-WrestleMania show of SmackDown on the Friday that SmackDown goes on the air. So, who's to say it wasn't any of their ideas? But even if that's not the case, I know some people will say, well, the blame still would fall with Vince for okaying any of these ideas, period. So, I can understand people's frustrations. But when you think about it, whether you like the guy or you don't, you have to admit that the guy's been in this business long enough that he's seen a lot of stuff take place. He's seen a lot of stuff happen around the world, to where he's had to shuffle a lot of his major WWE cards, his other live events or Raws or, main Saturday night main events or whatever. He's had to shuffle a lot of them around just to compensate for what's going on. I mean, in case you guys don't know, he had to basically tape or redo in your house when the lights went out during a big storm. The power went out in an arena during an Austin Savio Vega match, and that pretty much put in your house on the back burner for the next night. You had to shuffle things around. So, again, look, I agree. They should postpone Mania. I think Vince should be the one that comes to his senses and say, you know what? It ain't gonna be WrestleMania if we do it this way. Let's postpone it till June 7th and try to get MSG to host it. Yes, that would make sense, but Vince, as a lot of people have pointed out, is a guy that if he looks at something like that as a possibility, even coming from someone like a Triple H or Stephanie or whoever, he looks at it as weakness. Like, oh, you're not strong enough to go through with this, huh? Well, you're weak. I mean, heck, people that have worked closely with Vince have said that even if you sneeze or say you're sick and you can't really wrestle, he sees that as weakness. So, no matter how you look at how this came about, I don't really think, and as crazy as this may sound, I don't just necessarily think it's Vince's fault. I mean, yes, Vince is the one that has the final say, but I don't think it's necessarily his fault. I think, honestly, a lot of other key people were in play here, including a Stephanie McMahon, including a Triple H. They were like, okay, because they know Vince probably better than anybody, that they know that even if they try to propose the idea of postponement, he's not going to do it. So they probably said, you know what? He's not going to want to go with it. So let's do this. Let's make this suggestion. And that's probably what happened. That's probably how we got to where we are now. Now, here's the thing. Are pay-per-view companies happy about the fact that they may have to charge separately to equal up to about $70? No. Because each night is $35. $70 would be for both nights. That makes sense to me. But $35 each night, $70 as a whole makes sense to me. But anyway, do you think they're happy about that? No. Do you think they're happy with the fact of, oh, you're going to order $70 for WrestleMania, and this is the Mania you get? You think they're happy about that? No. But here's the thing. I think cable companies right now, they understand the situation everybody is in because of this damn situation. Excuse my language, God. But they understand. And they're like, look, we may be in agreement with everybody else that WWE should hold this off, but if they're willing to do this, at least, hey, we'll make something out of it. And that's probably what it is in the end. And a lot of people are saying that Vince, all he's doing is really just trying to, make some kind of profit out of this, get some kind of insurance out of this or whatever. And that's why it's happening. Now, I've heard people like JUSTALYX, formerly Deluxe Man, come out and say, and even JD from NY come out and say, you know what, if this is what they're going to do, they can be creative with it. They can go to different, if they're going to do multiple locations, why not go here? Why not go there? Why not really go crazy with this if this is going to be probably the last major thing you do before, the last taping that you do, which would be the post-WrestleMania edition of Smackdown, and you're sending everybody home until this whole thing, this whole situation, this whole ordeal, quarantine, whatever you want to call it, blows over. So yeah, I've heard people say that, and those are great ideas. But I think honestly, in the end, what WWE is doing, as much as we may hate to say this, whether it's Vince's idea solely, which I don't think it is, crazy as that sounds, they're trying to make the best out of a bad situation. And if it means taping, and if that means taping SmackDown and 205 Live for this upcoming week, this weekend, or this past weekend, or yesterday, I should say, and then, which was Saturday, and now Sunday, but Saturday, and then going live with Raw on Monday, and then taping the post-WrestleMania edition of Raw Tuesday, and then doing WrestleMania, maybe before or after that, probably before, and then doing the rest of WrestleMania on Wednesday and Thursday, and then taping the post-WrestleMania edition of SmackDown on Friday, and then allowing people to go home after that. I guess it makes sense. Because, again, you're making the best out of a bad situation. Is it going to feel weird and unusual? Yeah. But could they play around with it? Absolutely. Should they take a page out of what AEW did on Dynamite this past Wednesday? Absolutely. But we don't know if they're going to do that. We don't know if they're going to do that or not. We'll just have, as I say in a lot of my videos, we'll have to wait and see. It would make sense if they had people in the crowd out to, in some capacity, to give it a little bit of ambience, if you will, prestige. But we just have to wait and see what they do. You know, did they, because here's the thing, do you think any company, any wrestling promotion, MLW, AEW, Impact, WWE, New Japan, do you think they had any of this planned out? Do you think they saw this situation, this pandemic occurring when it did? Huh? Do you think they saw that coming? No. They didn't have a crystal ball that let them look into the future and see it coming. No. It just came out of nowhere. So it's a situation that nobody, not even WWE, was prepared for. But WWE is doing what they can to make the best out of a bad situation. And as crazy as it sounds, doing exactly what Triple H said they do the best when it comes to these kind of old deals. And that's entertain us. So, again, like I said at the beginning, do I agree that WWE should have held off on this? Yeah, I do agree with that. And they could have incorporated a lot of the matches they had planned for Extreme Rules and even the Money in the Bank matches, both women and men, into Mania, make it more spectacular at a place like MSG, and go from there. But again, they're not sure if they're going to get MSG if that's the case, because the Knicks may have something planned if the NBA resumes, or something else may be already in place as well. So they don't know. So they're just making the best of a bad situation. They're getting this out of the way. They're getting the go-home shows of both Raw and SmackDown and NXT out of the way. They're getting the post-WrestleMania editions of all three shows out of the way. And along with Mania, and then after this week, they're going to let the men and women and go home and be with their families, like I said, until this whole situation dies down, which, by the grace of God, is going to be very soon, because we got warm weather coming, and according to a lot of studies, doctors and such, and even AccurateWeather.com, WeatherChannel.com, have all said warm weather is not a friend of this situation, of this disease, if you will. So, again, like I said in all my videos, we'll have to wait and see what happens. But right now, to me, and a lot of people, whether they agree with this or not, whether they agree with the idea of this happening, we'll have to agree that this is WWE making the best out of a bad situation, because they don't know what's up the road. None of us do. And I think they just want to get it out of the way and, let the superstars go home to their families and wait till this whole thing blows over to see what the next step's going to be. But that's just my thoughts on the whole WrestleMania deal. And if you hear anything in the background, my mom is in the living room relaxing, laying down, watching Overcomer, which is a good movie. But anyway, like I said, we'll just have to wait and see. But that's just my thoughts on the whole WrestleMania 36 situation for this upcoming week. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. Comment if you like. And I am out.